I didn't see this movie when it first came out. I went and saw it last night with Autumn and my grandma. So, this review is late. I don't regret waiting to see it. But, let's get into it. So Doctor Strange is another movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is directed by Scott Derrickson and stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Rachel McAdams, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Tilda Swinton, and Mads Mikkelsen. This is an incredible movie. The visuals are stunning. Before I get into too much, I want to say Scott Derrickson is a great director, and this movie is directed beautifully. Benedict Cumberbatch is an amazing actor. His American accent did throw me off a little bit at first, but I got used to it, and it didn't bother me. Chiwetel Ejiofor is great in almost everything I've seen him in. And Tilda Swinton was actually really good as the Ancient One. So let's start off with talking about the story. The story is that Stephen Strange, he's a brilliant neurosurgeon. He gets into a car accident while flipping through his phone. He wrecks his hands, severe nerve damage, and he can't do surgeries anymore. He spends every cent he has trying to fix his hands, and he eventually meets the Ancient One, who begins to teach him sorcery. This movie is an origin story, but it is a really good and interesting origin story, and I'm really glad they went with the origin story route for this movie, rather than establishing him just saying, oh, he's just here, because it's a really good origin story, and it lends a lot of material to be used, and a lot of stories to be set up and told. The visuals in this movie are breathtaking. The first scene, when Doctor Strange meets the Ancient One, and she's just like, open your eyes, she presses his forehead, and then he goes shooting off into this mind trip of wacky visuals. It goes on for at least 2 or 3 minutes, and it's fast-paced, it's rapidly done, you're confused, Strange is confused, it's funny, it's interesting, it's trippy, it's incredible. Then, the one thing I want to mainly talk about is what Marvel seems to have a weakness with. The villains. Kaecilius, played by Mads Mikkelsen, is one of the most interesting Marvel solo movie villains in recent years. I mean, if I had to name off the top memorable villains, Loki, Zemo, Kaecilius. And unless I actually, take a lot of time to think about it, I can't remember any of the other villains, because they're kind of forgettable. If I really think about it, oh yeah, there was Obadiah Stane, Whiplash, Red Skull, I completely forgot about Red Skull, all of those guys. Kaecilius. When you think Marvel villains, and you think Doctor Strange, you think Kaecilius, and that's really cool. Kaecilius, apart from a couple of minor things about him and his motivation that you don't really understand. He's a well fleshed out character. You don't know exactly how he got to this path of darkness, but it is hinted at a little bit. I don't believe he dies at the end, which I think is a first for a while in Marvel movies. I think, at least I don't think he dies in the movie. No, I think he just gets pulled back into the dark dimension. He doesn't die in this movie. Doctor Strange and Caecilius and Mordo are the big, memorable characters in this movie. Some forgettable characters, the Zealots, Caecilius's little group of followers. None of them have names, and you can't remember what any of them did, except you do remember one guy who kind of got swished around by the Cloak of Levitation a few times, and then he fought Doctor Strange in the astral dimension, which was cool. But let's talk about the big thing that everyone is talking about. Dormammu. That was the coolest scene in the movie. So Strange, the Dark Dimension is being pulled into our dimension after the Hong Kong Sanctorum is destroyed. And so Strange uses the Time Stone, the Infinity Stone in the Eye of Agamotto, and he's turning back time, fixing the Hong Kong Sanctum. He brings Wong back to life, played by Benedict Wong, and I love Benedict Wong, and I love the character of Wong. I'm just gonna keep saying Wong. No, I'm just kidding. But so he brings Wong back to life, and he goes and he freezes time, except for a few key people around him, and then he goes into the Dark Dimension, and he confronts Dormammu, and he puts him in an infinite time loop. So Dormammu keeps killing Strange, but he just keeps coming back because it's an infinite time loop that they're on together, so neither of them can die, and only Strange can break the loop. So he makes a deal with Dormammu to get Caecilius out, and it's a really funny scene because you see Dormammu just continuously killing Strange in any way possible, and Strange just keeps coming back. And yeah, it's like it kind of reminded me of Edge of Tomorrow and Groundhog Day a little bit. Groundhog's Day, yeah. So yeah, all in all, this is a really enjoyable movie, and yeah, and I almost forgot to talk about the post-credit scenes. So I'll start with the actual post-credit scene first, because this is the one I'm kind of least excited to talk about, even though it is still a really cool scene. Mordo, he meets Jonathan Pangborn, who told Strange about the Ancient One, and then he goes to him and he steals Pangborn's magic that was helping him walk. he's like, I've had a revelation. The problem with this world is that there are too many sorcerers. And it sets up that he might become a villain later, which is cool. But let's get to the one that I really want to talk about. The Thor Ragnarok post-credit scene, or mid-credit scene. So, we sat through the end credits, and I knew something was coming, because it's a Marvel movie. And then it cuts to black after the credits roll, or the big, flashy, colorful credit bit, and then it's a black screen and you just hear, so Earth has wizards now? And there's Thor sitting there across from Strange, and he's like, would you like some tea? And he's like, I don't drink tea. And Strange's like, well, what do you drink? Not tea. And then he's got this giant mug of beer, and he drinks the whole thing, and then it refills itself. And, so Strange basically describes what he does to Thor. He's like, I keep a watch list of potential threats to the Earth, your adopted brother being one of those. And, then he's like, well, we're just here looking for Odin. And Strange, he's like, well, if I were to help you find Odin, would you leave? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then Doctor Strange just says, allow me to help. Which I'm excited for, because that means we're probably going to see quite a bit of Strange in Thor Ragnarok near maybe the middle or close to the beginning or somewhat, which means not only will it be a Thor and Hulk team-up movie, but it'll also be a Thor and Doctor Strange team-up movie, which is awesome. I cannot wait to see. So yeah, I honestly loved this movie a lot. It is well directed, well acted, well written. A few of the jokes don't quite land right, but other than that, the humor does work really well. My favorite bit of humor, I won't spoil it, but it involves Beyonce. Anyways, I'm going to give Doctor Strange an A. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys later.